Hi everyone, I'm just going to go over some more retouching techniques in Affinity Photo for iPad. I'm just going to scale this image so we'll get more of a macro beauty shot. And the image was shot just using a ring light DSLR, so no flash was used. So I've got quite a shallow depth of field on this. I'm just scaling the duplicated layer and just positioning it. While holding down on the screen, I'm just clicking on the nodes to extend the image accordingly. If you're holding down on the screen, it will help keep the aspect ratio with the image, so you're not distorting it. Right, just gonna shrink those layers, and I'm just using two fingers to zoom in. I've created a new pixel layer, and I'm going to be playing around with several of the healing tools, making sure that the source is set to current and below, so I'm actually not working on a blank layer. So I'm just using the in-paint and brush tool, and I'm just drawing over the tiny red vein lines that you can see on the eyeball. I don't want to eliminate them completely, I just want to reduce them a little bit. There's several ways we can go about this. I'm just experimenting. Like I said, this is just an image from Halloween for my little sister whose makeup I had to do, so it's not for a client, it's just for her and her social media. Luckily she's in my bubble, so she can come over to my house and she can model for me anytime because her skin is flawless. It's not fair. She's got these big Bambi eyes and flawless skin. And I just get the retouching skills because I need them. So I've used the healing brush tool and I'm using the patch one at the moment. And I'm just coming in, and I'm not going to redraw any of these eyelashes. It's not for a client. I just needed to look a little bit better for Instagram and Facebook. So I'm just drawing around the part I want to replace and then dragging it elsewhere. And I'm just going to remove this one, potentially. It's a little bit better. Zoom out, you can't really see that one. If this were for a client or for print, I would do this slightly differently. I'd obviously spend a bit more time on those selections and moving around the information on the image. But because it is just for social media, there is so much more you can get away with. The image is not going to be seen in full res, so yeah, some cheeky little shortcuts. And I'm just going over certain little areas and doing what I've done earlier. Pretty sure that's a freckle on her lip. Well, I know it is on the top lip. Yeah, she has amazing freckles as well. It's so not fair. Normally I wouldn't move these in a beauty shot, but the purpose of this beauty shot is just to show off the red makeup. It's just snazzaroo. I wasn't expecting it to go on as well as it did, but I'm impressed. I'm just going over some of these little creases below the eye where the makeup hasn't quite gotten into it, and just dragging it away to add a bit more colour to it. Now I quite like the detail and the texture around the eye, so I'm not going to remove too much. I love textures and images, full stop. You all know this. Just the blemishes on the cheek that I've just tried removing. It's all blurry, so it's a bit more frustrating to remove because there's no definition to it. Could have used a clone stamp tool and played around with the lightening dog and with one of the larger brushes, but I'm already in on this tool, on the patch tool, so we will roll with it. Let's get rid of these tiny flecks. Yeah. So I love the red makeup. My contouring skills around the nose do need some work, I'm not a makeup artist though. This was, like I say, just done for Halloween, and because I'm in my sister's bubble, and because I kind of understand the basics of art and stuff. So, like, my background is illustration. So obviously she pulled in some favours. I'm just using a curves adjustment layer here, just to deepen that red, and I've just done that on the main one, and I've just gone into the blue channel. So I'm going to pull it to the opposite end to add a bit more warmth, or a bit more saturation to the red. I'm quite liking where this is going. Kind of wish I had shot this with flash rather than the ring light, but it was also Friday night, stupidly late, that I had to do this, and then I had to be up again at like 4 o'clock in the morning to redo the look. So I'm just using the paint tool on a new layer, and I'm drawing around the eye, and this is just to emphasize the eyeliner a bit more. Just being very crude. Like I say, with it being more Halloween makeup, you can get oils a little bit more. Just gonna create another curves adjustment, and I'm gonna just do a little bit of dodging here. I don't think I want to do any burning. Just because I'm quite happy with the shadows, I just think I need to lighten a couple of areas. Like I say, you've got a little bit more flexibility with it being Halloween-esque makeup. So I'm just coming in and, yeah, just gently drawing over certain areas just to lighten them a little bit. Just shrinking my brush for the smaller areas and make the brush bigger for the larger areas. You can obviously change the width of the brush, just in the bottom toolbar there, and it's the first option. If you're using a keyboard, bracket keys. Got a sudden urge to go all Bob Ross here. Happy little dodge line. I'm just using the 2-finger pinch to zoom out and in. Just lightening up a little bit around the eyes. Right, playing around with the hue saturation adjustment layer. Okay, I'm not really convinced. Let's just pretend I never had done that. I'm just looking for more adjustments I can chuck on the top of this. I can't help myself. Ooh. Intense. I love the live previews on the right hand side. But it does just make me want to use so many adjustment layers. It's unreal. So I've kind of compiled them all and merged them onto one layer. I am going through the filters again. Can't help myself. I'm going to do a little bit of frequency separation, and it is the same technique that I showed you in a previous video, which I'll link up at the end. And I literally just hit the sliders a tiny bit and hit OK. So let's see. It took a little while to catch up there. I'm creating a new pixel layer between the low and the high, and I'm going to paint in between the layers. There's so many different ways you can use frequency separation. For my commercial jobs, I don't use it. I don't tend to use it. But for stuff like for Instagram, stuff like that, yeah, I'll do a cheeky one here and there. But everyone on YouTube seems to love frequency separation for some reason. So I'm just taking the colours and I'm just trying to blend them out onto this new layer. Just drawing on, stealing the colours from the original image and just drawing them on just to blend all the tones. Oh, too much. Too much. Oh, losing some of the definition there. Yeah, so I reduced that and pretty much that was it. So there you go. I'll catch us all next time.